Hi, I recently did an upload about my 10-night stay at the Hard Rock Hotel in Orlando. In that, I spoke about what I thought of the Universal parks, but I realised the park bit might be the only area that some people are interested in listening to, so here is that bit separately. I hope that you enjoy. Just as some general park tips, as you're using your phone a lot, we found that buying a cord like this means you can have your phone around you for easy access, and it also helps keep it safe. Also, don't forget to bring your lanyard with you to make it easier to show your pass. And it's always useful to have some extra plastic wallets. I also highly recommend bringing something to drink out of. We brought a collapsible water cup, and there are drink machines dotted around the parks where you can top up on water for free. We took a small bag to the parks each day, which had our cup in, some suntan lotion, and also some spare glasses and sunglasses. So then, on to the parks. Inside Volcano Bay, the central point, as you'd expect from the name, is this big volcano. You'll notice I don't have much footage in here, but that's because I'm not going to be filming all people in their swimwear without their consent. So you'll just have to see this volcano. This isn't the place if you wanted to see anything else.
Pervert. $4 a seat. Pervert!
There are cabanas and lounges you can rent, but there are so many free ones, I didn't really see the benefit of that. I would also recommend getting some water shoes before you visit here for walking around. And if you're worried about getting sand on these, there are helpfully these little floor sprays dotted around the park everywhere to clean them. When I was here, they had what I thought was a fantastic system named Tapu Tapu. I was going to talk about this, but I found out that pretty much days after I left, they scrapped the system. I'll not talk about that then. The things I liked are the lazy river. They're always fun, but there are some bits where you'll get wet from above, so you can't just lie back on a ring and snooze. There is a wave pool, which is the one in front of the volcano. I don't know if wave machines in general have been toned down, or if it's just because I was a little kid last time I went in one, but they do seem a bit tamer than the ones I remember when I was little. I'm sure the Bolton Baths one was much bigger than this when I was growing up. Finally, the main ride here is the Krakatoa Aqua Coaster. This is a cross between a water slide and a roller coaster, where the rubber boats you're on are propelled by magnets, and it is a different experience but really fun one, and highly recommended. I wear glasses, so usually have to take them off for water rides, and can't really see what's happening, but on this you're allowed to keep them on, and I really appreciated the inventiveness of it. Epic Universe is the newest theme park, and it definitely shows, as everything feels new and flashy. I will do a separate upload ranking all of the rides in this park as I went on all 11, but for now I'll quickly run through the main areas. The park is split into 5. There is the central celestial area, and then walk parks where you can travel to the 4 other areas. Every area has its own merchandise shops, but there are also some in the main area that have a bit of everything. As you enter the park, if you go to the right, you will also see a shop that sells Christmas baubles. Just letting you know that in case anyone like me has to bring back their mum a Christmas ornament from every holiday they go on. There are 2 rides in the central area, the Carousel, which is a gentle family one, and Starlight Express, which is probably the best roller coaster I've been on in Orlando. They look good, but at night time it's taken to a whole nother level, and the look of it all lit up is superb. There is also a bar near the roller coaster, which is handy if someone in the party wants a drink instead of going on it. And if you need a refreshment, Frosty Moon does some good ice creams. Onto the portal areas, the first one we went to was Nintendo Land, and as someone who loves the Mario games, this was just visually incredible. Even all the Easter eggs through the ride queues were just perfect. There is a Yoshi ride here, and that's mostly for youngsters. There is a Mario Kart ride, which I then loved. On this you wear these headsets and it's really inventive. Then finally there's the Donkey Kong roller coaster. This had by far the biggest queue in the park and was regularly over 3 hours. Even if you had a fast pass, it was still a long wait to go on this ride. What we did was go on this late in the evening at about 9:30, just half an hour before the park closed. We then only had about a 15-minute queue. So if you're here that late, I would say do that and just go on Mario Kart in the day because that's the better ride. Also in Nintendo World, we went in the Toadstool Cafe, and this is just great fun. There are these windows on all the walls where you can see the toads making the food. Then every 15 to 20 minutes or so, the lights dip and we see Bowser attack, and it's just fun. The food was also really good. You can order from a QR code on your table, and I highly recommend the Luigi Chicken Burger, it was extremely nice. The next area we visited was Isle of Berk for How to Train Your Dragon. If I'm honest, I wasn't too excited for this before coming, but it is a really good land. They also have 3 rides. Fire Drill is a water one, but if I'm honest you could probably skip this. We got soaked from people on another boat, and we went on in the evening so it had cooled down, so we had to then pay $8 to go in a dryer after it. I felt like that clip from a few years ago where someone was going to town with a water gun on that guy on a ride. Then there's Dragon Racers Rally. This was a fun ride, although I wouldn't wait too long if there's a massive queue for this. Then the final ride is Hiccup's Wing Gliders. This is a family roller coaster and this is just fantastic. It's one of the best family coasters I've ever been on, and this is a high recommend. Other good things in this world are some cool meet and greets and photo ops, and they even have a show named The Untrainable Dragon, and this was just such high quality. It blows me away how advanced these are now, and this show was one of the highlights of a day, so a definite recommend. Well done Isle of Berk, you surprised me. The third portal we went to was then Harry Potter. This is based on France and ties into the Fantastic Beasts films. As you enter you see this Arc de Triomphe and it's visually incredible. It is good that it's based on France as it does have a different feel from the Harry Potter worlds in the other areas, but, and this might be a bit irrelevant me talking about it here, but it does just blow my mind they stopped making the Fantastic Beasts films. There's so many people walking around kitted out in robes and carrying wands. They must make so much from the merchandise. I just don't understand what happened to the films. It must be the biggest fumble of a show thing ever. They must have been planning on continuing the films when they designed the land, and it's a slight shame it's based on something that didn't really make an impact on pop culture like the originals did. It does make me wonder if they have any future plans for this, or if they'll maybe tie it into the new TV series if that's received better. Part of me questioning this is because the only ride in this area plays it safe to tie into the original films, being the Trials of Dolores Umbridge. For this ride, I think the queue is probably the most impressive I have ever been through. They cram so much in here, and walking around these and the teleporting areas is such an incredible effect. If I'm completely honest though, the ride doesn't quite live up to the queue, and I think the Harry Potter rides in the other parks may be slightly better. You aren't even strapped in, so right from the off you know it won't be a big thrill ride. And although technically impressive, I don't think there's anything too special to justify a very long wait. You can get usual Harry Potter things like butterbeer here, and I'm not particularly a fan of butterbeer, but what I am a fan of is frozen butterbeer, and that tastes incredible. If we had to recommend one thing to try here, it's this. It tastes amazing. For the shops in this area, there is a wand shop and chocolate shop, and both of these are well themed. And there is also a bar. If you get a cocktail at this bar, you do get to keep the glasses. These tasted really nice, but the price of these is a bit eye-watering. Probably the best thing about this land is the show. I mentioned in my Halloween Horror Nights upload about how people in the parks are just so friendly. In the queue for this we were stood next to someone named Derek who lives in Florida, and it was also his birthday on the day. And he was just the nicest guy possible, telling us loads of great facts and things about the park.
You're my boy!
Derek.
You're my boy.
Then the show itself was really fun, and like the Dragon Show, it's just visually spectacular. Then the final area is the Dark Universe, and I did love Nintendo World, but in the end this one was my favourite. It also looks incredible at night, especially when the windmill lights up. There are 2 rides here, a werewolf roller coaster which is good, but it does have long waits. I think it may be due to how long it takes to load people on, which is a shame, as it's a good ride, but I wouldn't say it's worth waiting too long for. The other ride is Monsters Unchained, the Frankenstein experience, and this is probably the most blown away I've ever been by a ride. It has a great mix of animatronics and screens, and I went on this so many times.
And Ronnie, I feel like you're just here for
Monsters Unchained ride.
What?
It also loads people on really quickly, so there's never really a big queue for this. This area also had my favourite merchandise shop in the park, and I just love this t-shirt that I got. So that is all the park, and just as some general tips here, wear some suntan lotion. The park is great, but there is surprisingly little shade, so you don't have many places to protect yourself. You can plan your day out in advance before visiting, but the rides here do seem to go down a lot, so you have to be flexible and adapt to this. Whilst we were here we saw the Harry Potter ride, the Harry Potter show and the Donkey Kong ride all go down, so as this happens you just need to think on your feet about what you want to do next. If you're here till late, or even if you leave the park and come back later, Donkey Kong and Harry Potter will have less of a queue time then, but you do have the risk that it could also be closed then and then you've missed your chance, so it's up to you if you want to take that risk. I've lumped both Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios together in this part, and if you have tickets to these you can even travel between them on the Hogwarts Express. I'll not cover everything in these parks as there is loads here, so I'll just cover what stands out. Also, I was here during Halloween Horror Nights. I know you might watch this at a different time of the year, so I'll not cover that here. But if you would like to see my thoughts on that, I have a few uploads on that on my channel. For Islands of Adventure first, the best ride here is Velocicoaster. It is fast and exciting, and if it wasn't for Starlight at Epic, it would be the best roller coaster in Orlando. Also good here is the Hulk coaster, which is surprisingly intense. The whole Marvel area is good. The Spider-Man ride is great, and even the X-Force Waltzer was a lot faster than I imagined. There is a Harry Potter area here, and the Gryffindor ride is fine, it's a family coaster. But then Hagrid's bike ride was way faster than I expected, and this was a surprisingly great ride. There are a few things that feel a bit dated. On the Kong ride, it's incredible when you see Kong, but the rest of it is a bit too gentle and dated. If you want a calm hour or so, the Dr. Seuss area is also somewhere I enjoyed. Cat in the Hat might be one that is a touch dated, but One Fish Two Fish never has a queue, and it sprays you just the right amount if you want to cool down. On to Universal Studios, and I think out of these two parks this one has better rides in general, but then also one or two stinkers. When you enter there are two Minion rides either side of you. The one on the left is fun. I wouldn't wait too long for it as it's a screen ride, but I did enjoy it. The one on the right however, I feel a bit mean being cruel about this as it's a kids ride, but it was just rubbish. You stand on a conveyor belt and are given a gun and no instructions. I didn't know if I was supposed to shoot the minions or am I supposed to shoot everything else. There was no guidance and it just felt very lazy and not worth queuing up for. Also near the entrance there's a Wicked store. Maybe that's a hint for a future bigger thing, I don't know, but I would love a Wicked Land, so I wouldn't complain if this turned up. With the other rides, the Transformers ride is surprisingly fun. I went on this several times, and once it even broke down and the lights came on, and it was great to see how it all works. I think it would be good if the parks let you go in early to see the rides go round in the light. It'd be really interesting, and I'd pay for that if it wasn't a daft price. Some of the older rides here also still hold up as some of my favourites. The Mummy ride and the Men in Black ride are still two of the most entertaining in the parks. And I even still laugh going on the Simpsons ride. E.T. also offers some cool nostalgia. I hope they keep this ride forever. There is another Harry Potter world here, and the rides are again really good, but it's the whole area design that's the real star. It just looks superb. On to the other bad ride though, and it's no surprise for anyone who's been here, but it's shocking how unfast and furious the Fast and Furious ride is. It felt like it should be a ride for driving Miss Daisy or something. It's just a bad ride idea and badly executed, but worth doing if there's no long wait time, just to see the cool queue area. And I did also appreciate how sarcastic the staff are. I think everyone realises this is a bit of a dud, so it's a bit like an in-joke going through it all with them. After going on this, I then went on the Jimmy Fallon ride, and that felt great in comparison to this. It just shows how tame Fast and Furious is. There are also two shows in this area I went to. One was the makeup show, and the waiting area in this is superb. But in terms of the show itself, I would have liked it to go a bit more in depth on effects during the show. I get that he designed it for families, but I would have loved a bit more geeky info. The other show is the Bourne Stunt Show, and this might just be the best thing in the park. Similar to the Monsters Unchained ride in Epic, this just mixed so many different things together, and it felt like something I hadn't seen before. Top marks for this. It's also great just seeing random characters walking around, and any actors who play them are always fun. I also think that at least once you need to see the Universal Studios parade. Just when you think you've seen the most impressive thing, something even more impressive turns up. And the T-Rex at the end looks phenomenal. I know 10 days at Universal sounds long, as I know there's another company in the area with a few things to do, but I genuinely didn't feel like I was missing out on anything by not going there, and I probably would do a Universal holiday again before doing a Disney one, due to how much fun I had on this. I last visited Disney in 2019 when I did a cruise, and that was amazing. But I think since Epic Universe has opened, and especially if you come here for something like Halloween Horror Nights, Universal just has more for me personally that I enjoy at the moment. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Cheers!